Hi, welcome to Ocean Yummy's channel. So, as you can tell by the title, I've been watching a couple people doing certain stuff as well. So, I feel it's all gonna tie in together somehow. I don't even know how it comes out is this because there is some genuine communities who are doing spirituality and stuff like that. I think what's going on is when people keep saying, "Oh, I'm spiritual because of blah 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 blah." There are certain ones on here, like what I mean. You can identify by the energy of a person. Sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, the levels of spirituality is not what they look like, is what comes out their mouth. Now, what happens? There's either two parts to the community, i.e., the goddess syndrome. Now, most women think that a goddess is very sexual and very this and very that, and I'm spiritual, but I've got to be sexual and got to be this. Sometimes it's not even that, right? Sometimes it is a case of you coming into yourself, looking into the mirror, just dealing with yourself. When you're around certain groups, you learn to grow, right? It could go two ways. Either you learn to grow or you stay stagnant. Most of these spiritual communities that is on the IGs and so forth, I have to question that it's all, I think it's all in the marketing anyway. I'm not even gonna cap, it's all in the marketing, because even to the mother and daughter keeps trying to use certain words as buzzwords. Now, when listening to these people, you have to use, as Marwan would say, discernment to figure out whether there is so like me. I've always looked up to Queen Afua, but recently I keep hearing different stuff about Queen Afua. Queen Afua wrote great books that can empower men and women. For how many years she wrote these books? Then later on, now I found out there's something other than that that's going on. She is a great advocate of spiritual women, whether people are into Egypt or not, because there's this hang up about spiritual Egypt, about Egypt and about this and about that and you know what? Some people are empowered by certain stuff. They have to start from somewhere. They'll start from A before they get to Z. You can't go to Z and then go to A or whatever, right? There's no shortcuts in it. What I'm also coming to understand is that people are thinking that there's shortcuts in a lot of stuff, shortcuts in diet, shortcuts in ideology, shortcuts in thinking, shortcuts in a lot of stuff. Dietary is a whole nother level altogether. If you deal with dietary, your body go through a whole detox. I think I went through some kind of detoxing thing. I ain't gonna lie, detoxing thing. You literally can see the BS that is going on. The community, like I said, has many phases to it, but the spiritual community, right, before used to be this. You will just identify them. They will just look a certain way. You just identify them. Some of them will have very long locks and look a certain way. And you can tell by their eating. You can tell by how they look. Some of them, if they are spiritual, so-called gurus, whatever, you can tell. Yes, there is spiritual scammers, but you have to go by recommendation before you go to anything that a person deal with, you check out the recommendation on them. What seems to be happening, there seems to be a saying little groups going on that. Social media is good. Yeah, it is good. It's good because you can get great business off of it. You mark yourself right, you get great business. But the communities, the scammers that is on here on social media is very disgusting. I think I spoke about this the other day. They use the word spirituality so loosely. You don't wear spirituality as a badge. It's not a badge of honor. It's not. It's not a badge of honor. Okay. Spirituality is something that you go through. You go through. Actually, you never done go through the shit. You're forever going through the shit because it breaks you down. You some things will come to you that you want to forget about. Somehow something will bring it to you the forefront and put it right in your face and put it right there for you to deal with. Some of these people are running from their own stuff and then they come on and they say, oh yeah, oh I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. Oh, wait. Some people don't even advertise their stuff. They help people offline, getting spiritual baths, all sorts, showing them certain stuff, all sorts. Sometimes you don't even hear of these people. So those are people who are not on, who's actually showing who they are. Sometimes, right, people have to tell them, no, man, you need to go advertise on IG and this one. You will never see the person, you'll never hear the person. They probably just do it and they don't even realize they're doing community healing to people. Now, these community scammers now, which I can use the mother and daughter, for instance, where they keep using, oh yeah, right, we're just going through a shift. We're just going through a shift. That's when you think to yourself, okay, you look carefully, you listen carefully to what is being said. You don't just go in all fours and then shoot them a cash app. Polite is one of the scammers who still to this day he's still doing what he's doing, and people are still bigging him up from UK and America. Certain ones, Umar, even though he's not a spiritual whatever, picking him up. Nobody says nothing, just carries on. Oh, I just until when he does you something, then you have an issue. Now people just sit down and just think, oh yeah, man, I'm spiritual. It's not a look. It's not a thing. Sometimes a person with a weave can be the most spiritual person sitting in front of you. It's not a look. Anybody can be spiritual, anybody. The most countries in various places from Asia, certain places, I can't think right now, right? When they reach certain places like America and UK, you can't even tell what they're into. Right? You can't even tell what they're into. You can't tell. I mean, ether people, you can't tell that they're ether people unless they tell you they are. You don't wear it as a badge. Like, and then saying, oh, yeah, I can fix this, I can fix that. Some things can't be fixed. The person needs to go and fix their own stuff. Fix their own stuff. Face their so-called demons. Deal with it. Sometimes it can go on for years. For years. You can all be 60 and still going through what you're going through. Nobody cannot fix your shit. You have to fix your shit yourself. Like I said, Queen Afua wrote a book, the Sacred Woman, right? And a lot of people who use that first book, they learned a lot about themselves. When they went to that book, they started using Shoda Ariwa, the second book. Now, like I said, yes, there is scammers, but there are some who's not. I was talking about Shola Ariwa from long time. I ain't see nobody else on here talk about Shola Ariwa. I think there's another one. They never say, oh yeah, right, these are people who's actually doing it. But yes, still right, these people grow in the communities and all that. You don't do nothing. You don't try and sort, you know, get that person and say, look, right, you're not this. They feel by saying reflections and other stuff, buzzwords, that's all good. Now, people who dealing with Egypt, okay, I know some people ain't down with it. Do you know what? Some of those ones who deal with Egypt, right, are quite together because I met some over here. So you cannot tell a person how to be, how to feel. Maybe that was the thing what saved them, right? Yes, there is people who's into Egypt and they're proper scammers. Yes, they are. There are scammers who's dealing with that. But like I said, it comes down to using your head, listening carefully to what the person's saying. Are they asking me for money up front? Are they saying this, that, and the other? You have to think about these things because every single time I turn on this internet here, right, I see people chuckling at certain stuff and I'll be like, how? Or they just realize, oh yeah, da, 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 da. And you're like, but everybody's seen that already. Where you been? Right? Or they put everybody in the same boat. Because a woman or man wears crystals, it doesn't mean to say they are like whatever. If the crystal does something for them, it does something for them. Crystal don't work for everybody anyway. So if you don't understand the matrix of the crystals, that's fine. You don't have to understand everything. We're not here to understand everything, right? Then there's a person on IG. She thinks she's talking for everybody who does a spirituality. Do you know people don't wear spirituality as a badge? They don't wear it as a badge. It's only when you come on certain platforms and you're talking with the same people who's into the same thing you're into that you'll talk about it, and then then you're with that group of people who understands what you're talking about. So you don't go on and you'll say, "Oh, yeah, I'm speaking because like this person's talking about telekinesis." Da, 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 da. If the person wants to do what telekinesis, whatever, let them go ahead and do that. It ain't hurting you. As long as they're scamming, as long as they ain't scamming. If they're scamming, okay, go after them. I'll say, all right, go after them. Fine, deal with them. You can't just be like going off on people left, right, and center. Not everybody's nature boy. Not everybody's polite. Not everybody's. I can't think who else. Right, Dr. Layla Africa wrote a book on certain stuff, and he always talked about sorting your body out. Actually, I've never actually heard a bad word about Dr. Layla Africa, right? Or Sugar, whatever their name is. He wrote the book about your bloody type. Eat right for your blood type. I've never heard stuff like that, and I haven't been in the community, but I'm on the outskirts of the community, and now I'm seeing that how people are. I don't know. It's like what's gonna save a person? You're there taking liberties of that thing. Everybody have to find their way some way or the other. Whether they're dealing with the evil eye, whether they're dealing with the Ankh, whether they're dealing with Ogun, whether they're dealing with Shiva, whether they're dealing with Lakshmi. Because you know what, when in Trinidad, right, I was brought up with all them things, surrounded with Chinese, Indian, this one, that one. Some of us are very brought up in them around things like that. So when you're talking about certain things, oh no, that person should be into Shiva or right? As long as they're not using it to scam a person or using it to in a bad way or using it in a however way, that's fine. But if there's people who scamming in the community, yes, they need to be highlighted. Yeah, big time. I ain't gonna say no. But at the same time, You have to take it to effect, right? Not everybody's a scammer. Some people got into the den with a scammer. They got taken into the scammer because they believed in the person so much. Then later on, they found out that how that person wasn't true. Polite did that to that guy. But not everybody's telling his story. Everybody's bigging up Polite. Polite went and he did something to a young girl, allegedly. And everyone's still bigging him up. And I'm just thinking to myself, how? So you're all right with a pedo scammer. You're all right with with the one who hasn't even got the school up yet. The ones who talk about Umar, right? Because I don't do exposes on people, like I said, but there's these people around, and people are just like, oh no, blind leading the blind. Some people need these arts. They need these arts, but people tainting these arts. Right now, what I see is going on is that people like Nature Boy, what he's done, he's tainted the new age thing now, because now everybody who's doing it now, everybody's getting linked to Nature Boy a lot. Some of them, like the ladies, when I listen to them, I listen to what they're doing. I ain't even looking into the other things. I'm looking into what they're doing. And I spoke about what they're doing. I broke it down. And I'm sure there's others out there that I don't know about. But if I knew about them, there will be a whole different story, because you are really taking liberties of people's things. And if those things turn back and bite you in your ass now, then what are you going to do? She's here talking about Rasta. So that means that the crowd she pulls in is to do Rasta. Rastafari. But yes, still, she has nothing to do with Rasta. She probably eats meat and pork and everything. You don't even know. Rastas are not about material things. Sometimes they build their own stuff. Once you don't see one or two things, they ain't built their own stuff. They're not in a land, and they're saying they're off the grid. They're not off the grid. Then you say to yourself, you know what, that person ain't for real. Let me just duck out. You don't give them 1 ounce of money, right? If they're not in the sticks, as the man would say, they're not in the sticks. Then you're thinking, right? If they come on like how those women was coming on and 5 consecutive days and begging for money, then you have to think to yourself, man, I got to stop giving these people money, right? Give to the ones who really need it. Hi, Chrissy. Like how I gave to the school, for the people with the school, it was little, but I bet that child probably would go to the school, right? I bet that they will go and do something. You have to really look at and listen. You can't just assume because they say certain stuff, certain spirituality words, that is that. Everybody, I remember when everybody started talking about this shadow work. Shadow work was the buzzword for the longest time. I like, what the hell is it? When I looked into shadow work, it's basically the same thing. You're looking into yourself. The only person I see who did it, who show himself going through that, was King of Higher Self. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to show their business on here neither, because if you are doing it in private, that's good. But people using certain words, certain hashtags, certain this, certain that, and back in the day, it was never like that. You'll just be doing your thing. You'll have your altar in your house, your focus in your house, you get on with it. Nobody else needs to know what's going on in your house. Now, all of a sudden, now everybody's showing, oh yeah, look, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Right? Right? Because I used to be around some emerald greens at one point. Right? There's a picture of me around some emerald greens. You see me on Facebook around the emerald greens. Right? Yes. Oh, see, she's calling me. Right? So 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 when you're working in certain groups, the whole world don't need to know what you are doing, that you're working or you're doing that thing. It's not important to them. That's your own spiritual growth. Yeah, yeah. Hi, jaded emperor. Yeah, it's your own thing. Your spirituality is a personal thing. It's you, between you and whoever. Unless you need to tell your friend, I'm into this, and you want to bring them into it. Apart from that, right, the only time people will know when you're into something is the images that you put up on your social media, because that is a reflection of you. Whatever you're into at the time, people will know, because that yes, she keeps calling me. Right. So that will tell. I haven't put them in yet. Yeah, I'll do it for you. Hold on. Right. So it's like, so it's like, so it's like, so it's like a whole competition thing. I'm more spiritual than you. I'm more spiritual than you. Like, I'm just thinking to myself watching this, right? And I'm the '90s conscious, because I started at the end of the '90s. So I don't expect I don't expect people to be showing or dealing with whatever. You gotta use discernment when you're dealing with certain people. Totally trivialized spirituality. Yeah, they trivialize it. They take it so far, right? It doesn't need to be done doing that. It doesn't need to do that. You need to keep some things, you need to keep to yourself, right? I remember when I used to share everything on social media, I had to stop it, because every time I did something, somebody else would copy me. It used to annoy the heck out of me. They will copy me, and I'd be like, "Raw, they copy me." I'm like, I'll be vexed. I'll be upset. But if you show too much, obviously, right, their journey is not your journey. People talk about, like I was talking about, the organizations and everything else. Some of these people, even on YouTube, haven't even been in organizations, but some of them have knowledge of certain stuff. Others just get taken in, and once again, then you realize you're being scammed or something later on. Now you're like, oh my God, I got scammed by that person. I don't know what is wrong with people. What are you looking for at the end of the day? Do you not like sitting with yourself? Sometimes I like to sit with myself, and other times I like to come on here now and again and talk. Well, not now and again. Well, not recently, since there was women. Not recently. Because me, I would just hold my corner. At one point, I think when my YouTube got striked, that was kind of like the best thing, because I got a chance to go look at where else I can go put my videos. Where else can I put myself? You cannot get had by people. There's genuine people who's doing shit out there. Fundi Fee is one of them. I always talk about Fundi Fee. How comes nobody ain't gone and checked her for anything? She does Tai Chi. Go and check her. There's also a lady who does, what's she call it? Shechem Reiki in Chicago, I think she is. Right? She's quite a deep soul. She actually makes sense on a lot of stuff. Kajara. But no, people just want shortcuts into, oh yeah, I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual. Oh, the new spirituality thing is now we're putting gold grills on your teeth, wearing a lot of gold chains. Oh yeah, I got locks. Like I said, having a tree in your head doesn't make you anything. Anybody can grow trees in their head. It's quite easy to grow dreads. If you don't comb your hair for a long time and don't wash your hair, and just wash your hair will mat up into dreads. So people think it's an image. It's not an image. It's not an image. There's a song called Render Your Heart but Not Your Garment, but people just seem to think, oh yeah, it's an image. A woman who's saying that she's a goddess, but she's whining on IG consistently. Mind you, right, mind you, I haven't seen any from since that time when I started reporting them. Or I don't look at them. But you don't need to do all that, right? Spirituality is a lot deeper than that, and really, it's a personal things between you and the divine, the higher, the source, the ancestors, whoever you want to deal with, as long as it's not a bad being. And I might have to come on here and start teaching people again because I haven't taught things in a long time. It's just that I haven't got the time to go and like as much as I had before. 'Cause I used to write notes and everything. All right, I don't want to be coming on here teaching. And if you know, then you know. Even me sometimes, I don't even, I can't do some things. I wish I could. The things I used to do back in the day, I can't do what I used to do before. I used to have an altar. I used to do a lot of stuff. I used to take pictures of my altar. I used to take pictures of this. When I buy my ancestors' money, I used to do all that. Do you know what? It don't mean nothing. You don't mean nothing at the end of the day. It's what's going on with you. But you look falling for people who's trying to say that they are tribes and this, and then later on now you find out that how they're cults and that one and something else. Then you have to question yourself. Why am I attracted to these people? Because most people are running to those things because they're running from themselves. Then these community scammers, I think I put it on my community tab somewhere. That's why I'm putting up the Kwanzaa principles. Because it's important that you read them principles. Or I'm showing you what the Kwanzaa is about. I mean, like, you don't have to deal with it or whatever. Right? The Kwanzaa principles are there for you to meditate on and think about because like you got to deal with that all year round. That's how the Kwanzaa principles work. It's not about just 7 days and that's it. Boom, and that's it. Right? Right. So I'm just like, wow. It's just crazy how it's turned into. But like I said, I was one of them who used to put up everything on social media. That's why I can talk about it. Right? And I used to fall for the foolishness too. And that's why I'm very skeptical of people until proven different that they're not so. If you're not so, but also what I've learned to do, what I've learned about myself, I can just sit back and I can just observe you, and I probably can read you for a long time. I don't even realize I do that. It's only since I've been on the YouTube a lot. I see a few things. Then I'll probably say to one, well, look at that one. So apart from that, right, you have to use discernment, right? Reiki was the next thing that I took on. And therapies. There's nothing wrong with learning them arts. Go out and learn them arts. Because you're probably doing it to your relatives or your whoever. You don't need to go to somebody. Make sure that person has recommendation. Like I said, stars behind them. If the stars ain't saying nothing high, if there's no stars behind that person, and and not all of them write books neither. Some of them don't even write books. They're just there. They're just below radar. They're not even under the radar, they're below radar. And people who need to understand that how if you're on an IG and a person's asking you for money 2, 3 times, 4 times, and they're not showing you, okay, this is what I'm using the money for. Do you see what I just did? I showed you, I went and I donated to the school, the same peoples I showed in the community tab a while ago. The one with the children, where the guy's feeding the children. Okay. And even with those charities, you have to make sure that they're doing what they're doing. Because they could say, oh yeah, right, we're feeding the children, and then the next breath they're hurting the children. So you have to use discernment then. It's just a whole joke out here. I'm thinking, right, it's a joke. Then you got people who's making light of certain stuff. Talking about, oh, Egypt, da, 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 da. Egypt saved many lives. And it's not, and most of them never even reached Dr. York's, but it saved their life. I've met a lot of nuts because that's the Sarah set. I met I met a Sarah set people at one point. I met one person, he used to dress like a pharaoh. It wasn't about, oh yeah, dressing up or whatever, whatever. He used to dress like a pharaoh. If you think sun god is bad, this guy, his woman, his children was dressed like pharaohs. He used to go everywhere. You'll see them everywhere. He had the one lock and everything. But he was doing, but he's doing his work. He's called the Patar Council over here. So not everybody who is dressed Egyptian, you need to check them out first. Right now, there's a whole set of youngsters that is using this information and turning and twisting it the next way and making it all right for this and making it all right for that and making it all right for this. I remember you will never see an LGBT person, and I'm not being bad to the LGBT people, in the conscious community. Even if there was there, you'll never even know there was there. Now it's like anything goes in the conscious community. It's crazy. Anything goes, anything goes, anything goes, anything goes. But you might as well just be outside with the people who don't know nothing. If you're gonna do all that, stay outside with the people who don't. What they call them? Minister Farrakhan used to call them the non-believers. That's what Minister Farrakhan used to call them, the non-believers, because there was the believers in the mosque, right? The unbelievers stay outside the mosque. Those are the ones that how about you go and educate to become just like you, where you're wearing, like, as the men be wearing the suits, the women be wearing their stuff, and that's how you know. Most of the, oh yeah, there's another thing. What seems to keep coming up as well. Don't work. I think I said it twice. Don't work. Don't work, but give me money. What the hell is all that about? Where's that coming from? Years ago, there was talk about self economics. They used to talk about the Black Wall Street on a regular, because I used to be around them seminars. They used to talk about Black Wall Street on a regular. Like, even when what happened to the Black Wall Street, and then I didn't know it was linked to, like I said, Rosewood. They will say to you, right, you need a business, you need to be right, you need some kind of something, and you need to be giving money to a black business. If you can't do that, you have to be giving in another way. Nowadays, it's like, okay, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Some people is generally doing stuff. Once again, I refer to Fundi feet again. What is going on? Even me the other day, I went and I spent money and I got that thing from that man. That's a black business. So I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's only that I'm not active in the community itself. They call them armchair revolutionists. That's when you just sit down and you watch everything, and then you're not out there marching with them, but they're quick to call you an armchair revolutionist. But some of them be out there scamming hard. But as soon as you open your mouth, oh no, sister, you're hating, you're negative, you're this, you're that. That's why I don't talk to half of them. I don't talk to them. And when they approach me, I says whatever I gotta say to them. Oh, sorry, sister, sorry, sister. It's all love. Okay. Now it's the year 2023. I don't even see, like I said, I haven't seen nobody say, okay, come, let's stock up. Come, let's do this. Like I said, everybody's arming up, and then there seems to be happening. There's extra scammers around the place, more than normal. But do people call them out? No, they don't call them out. I remember people used to call out certain names in the community and say that they scammed them and this and that and the other. Some of them names don't get called out as much now, especially over here. So they got under the radar. So I'll use Queen Afua again because I used to love Queen Afua. When I met her and her son, I was like, wow, I want to be just like her. Even I said to her, can I use your book so I could formulate a circle for people, for women, and even the men? Because Supernova was the one who was doing for the men. Yeah, yes, Nicola, you called her a scammer as well, innit? Right? Queen of Fua was one of the books that I read. I was introduced to the book by a man. And I also told Janae about it also. So at the end of the day, that's why you don't see me showing like there's no new pictures of me at no community gatherings. None at all. Because it's always the same faces. If it's not scammers, it's cliques. Clicks. If it's not clicks, it's something else. Then you're just thinking to yourself, boy, I don't fit in nowhere. I just stay by myself. And I talk to the people who know me. Because most of those schools keep you away from your family anyway and your friends. Because they did it to me. When I was part of Nation, that was one of the things that my friends used to complain about. Because I was in the mosque 5 days a week. I'll be there 5 days a week doing doing studies. And then on the Sunday, I think the Saturday they'll be doing something. And then on the Sunday, I'll be there at the mosque listening to whoever's talking. Now, it was how long ago? I haven't been to a mosque, but the sisters, they know me. But people need to be alert on certain stuff because even I get lax, and I'll probably come across them. But when I spot them and I know who they are, I don't play with. I just don't deal with it. I just don't deal with scammers. I can't do it. But when you're genuine and you're doing something now, people don't want to help you do nothing. So there's you there asking for money to do something and nobody wants to help you because of the people out there who's doing scamming and doing everything else. And then you come along with your good heart self, want to help people or do what you want to do for people, and nobody's not bothered with you. They don't even spit up on you because you don't look fancy. I shouldn't have to put makeup on and all this show body for you to what's the word? Take part in whatever I'm giving. I shouldn't have to show myself dancing online so I can get a fan base. I remember when I was making oils, it was very hard to get my oil blends to sell. When I went to the places in the pop-up shop, my oils will sell there. It was pure white people buying my oils, basically, pure white people. So I can't even knock them half the time because I've seen it on both ends of the spectrum. But at the same time, there's people who scamming and saying they're readers, ancestral readers, this, that, and the other. And then it's okay. Hi, Tripsies. Saying the ancestral reader. There's this lady that was in the pop-up shop as me, right? And I wasn't right. I hadn't done my massage for a long time, and then I ended up. My friend was trying to entice me to come into a pop-up shop because she always used to entice me to do something. She'll tell me to just come bring the baby, and while the baby's doing this, she can be doing this. And I said, no, I'm not having her in no shop where, like, in case the door opens, she runs out or something crazy. All right. I never used to take up the offer. I was always very skeptical. I was always very cautious. Right. And there was a lady there. At first, when I met the lady, she was doing crystals. She's doing this. No, the thing is also what I'm talking about her is also when a person keeps swapping and changing and changing and changing, then they have to put on a certain face for you to say that they are what they are, whatever. Sometimes, right, one or two times, I think I've read people. I didn't have to go into no funny fundagri, whatever. I've done Reiki and read people too, but I don't talk. It's not something that you splurt out to the world. Sometimes, okay, well, I done it just then, but you don't tell the world. The people will tell by who you are and your work. My website's been still up where I used to do stuff. My website's still up till this day. Okay. Yeah, it's the razzle dazzle. Yes. Yes. Right. If you are on the Facebook with me, you will see that I wear uniform. It's got a little bit of kente cloth on that uniform. I have an afro, and I was working. I was doing back massages, Reiki, you name it, right? I was doing them works, right? There's only one shop messed me up. One or two shops mess me up because they show when you got potential, they don't want you to grow, or they don't want you to be a certain way, or they want you to be better than your friends and all this stuff. So I've been there, so I know. That's why I'm able to talk about these women so comfortably because I've met women like them before, right? So people think, oh yes, man, if you got waist beads, that means whatever. Waist beads are only worn by married women. Does anybody not know that? Married women wear waist beads, okay? But because it's made a fashion accessory, people wear it as a fashion accessory. Now, most of the, like, I think it's Negligette wears the beads, but I don't know whether she's married or whatever. But it's mostly for that. But people don't even check out origins of stuff no more. They just go on jump on the bandwagon, right? So I don't know what is wrong with this community. I don't know, man. I don't know. They just need to fix up. Need to fix up. Or even you know what also happens on here as well. Yes. Hold on, let me go fix the thing. Hold on. Yeah, they like the razzle dazzle. Hi, whoops. Hi, Chris. Oh, is it coming up? Chrissy, he looks weird on there. Jaded Emperor. Pitchet Soot. Nico. Nicola. Trips. So yeah. So at the end of the day, right, people just think it's just the whole thing. Like they want a shortcut to whatever they want to knowing yourself. And it goes a lot deeper than knowing your genealogy. I'll tell you that for sure. Sometimes people will tell you who you are, just look you right in your damn face, and they will say, you come from here. That's happened to me many times. Okay. Right. That's happened to me many times. Right. Sometimes the person said what the next person said confirmed it. Sometimes, right, it's just you. Sometimes it's you yourself. You start buying certain stuff, then later on, right, you figure out why you bought the things. I've said this before in another video. Look back. Yeah, it's like they need a costume or something. They're all in competition with each other. Yes, that too. Hi, Soul Omar. That too, all in competition with each other. It's like they need a whole costume and then so. Do you know why? If you look, like I said, I will use myself as a good example. I wasn't wearing a wrap. I haven't. I was wearing a wrap in and out because I was brought up around headscarves. You see my grandmother with a headscarf. You see my mother with a headscarf. You see some of my family with headscarf because they're a mixture of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Most of my family look Indian, look Asian looking. Right. I was brought up with a headscarf because I come from a spiritual Baptist background. Right. Then I went into Nation. No, then I went into Nation. Then I was Rasta. But I wasn't the proper Rasta because I wasn't in the temple really like that. But I was around people, High Quinton, who's part of that. I was around mostly women, Rasta for women and men. I used to go. I wasn't really I was hot foot, but not hot foot. Okay. Then I think I went to a calf and I bumped into an Ifa Babalawo, literally, like strange things, honestly, from Cuba. Now, if you are getting to know yourself, right, something will make you go somewhere, be somewhere, and it will just make sense. It just makes sense. You don't have to be sexual and all them shenanigans, shenantics, jump on bandwagons. Why don't you just think for yourself? The whole idea of you being conscious in the first place is so that you can think for yourself. Why don't you just do that? Right? Don't you just wake up? You're supposed to wake up, be aware, which means that you're supposed to be aware of everything. Well, even sometimes you can even get that wrong. But once somebody took in your eye once, twice, then like you think, okay, right, they ain't gonna get me the third time. Then you put in place things so that doesn't happen. But what seems to be what's the problem is the look of certain stuff. Right? So if you look on one video, you see me with my headscarf. At first, I never used to show my face a lot because sometimes I don't be dressed appropriately to come on camera. So I don't show there'll be my daughter in the background. So if they don't do all that and they're not saying whatever, or if you go to a page like, and they're saying, oh yeah, you got to pay up front. You got to pay up front. That is telling already. Already that is telling. Pay up front for what? You got to pay up front and then this and this and this. Is it? Because I've been had by that too myself. So I ain't going to lie. But these ones, online scammers, because remember, the internet is a big thing now. It's like you don't need to meet people face to face, right? You just meet on the internet. You can meet through Zoom. You can meet through all different ways now. WhatsApp, all different ways. So you can get scammed any different ways. They can call you up. Scammers call me on a regular basis. They call me on a regular basis. Promiscuity and their fake spirituality keeps me. Yes, exactly. There's a lot of that. Even Nicola called out a couple women too. She said, boy, that one looked like she wanted, like she wanted the thing. Because they make it, oh no, I'm not into that, I'm not into that. But when you look at their pictures, they're saying something else. Are you selling your breast online or something? You must be. There's some said, oh yeah, right, I'm this. Nicola went to another lady and she said she was about some next thing. And next thing, she didn't even get back to her. She didn't get back to her. Look on her website now. It's not even geared to for everybody. It's geared to one set of people. You're thinking, yeah, but it's your people that's feeding you as well. So I'm just saying, what is going on? And boy, just crazy. I'll tell you. I'm coming on Ujima Day to come let off. That's what I put. You need to meditate on Ujima. Kwanzaa. The principles are there for you to meditate on so you don't get had by people. That is all part of working on oneself. Each principle of Kwanzaa, you work when it continues right through the year. Yeah? It continues right through the year. It don't just stop there. It don't just stop 7 days and that's it in January and that's it. It's continuous. It's a cycle. It's a whole cycle. It's 360 days of it or more, I think. Oh, it's 300. I don't know. Don't quote me. 300 and certain days. Don't worry. Hi, ghetto child. I'm thinking of something else. Right? There's how many days in a year that's supposed to work towards that. You got to work towards that to goal for the community, do something for the community. It can be very little, very small. You don't have to show it on YouTube. It's not that you don't have to be that press. At one point I was gonna give to some beggars some stuff. I had some idea. I was gonna go buy loads of sandwiches and give to all the beggars at one point, but that's when the baby was younger. Can't do that now. But you know, if they're not asking and all that, or they're not saying, okay, for as little as whatever you can afford, whatever give me, and then I'll see how it could work, and then I'll show you where your money has gone to. That's called marketing. Yeah, it's called marketing. It's marketing and all these scammers, Nature Boy and all that stuff, Polite, they're marketing on your asses. And people still bigging them up. I'm like, wow. How can you big up Polite and Umar Johnson in the same breath? Over here, even I got told, oh, no, don't be talking about Umar Johnson. I'm like, wow. I said, Umar Johnson's a scammer, you know. That's how I said it. Umar Johnson's a scammer. He's not looked up well upon over in the US at all. They don't respect him at all. Oh no, you must have said that. And that's the same thing with Dr. York. Me and my friend nearly had an argument. Just talk about Dr. York and his shenanigans. And I know Grandma Akka is vexed with me when I talk about it, but Grandma Akka, he did a lot of stuff with children. Plus, he scammed you lot out of stuff. You lot was living in sticks, and he was living like a king. And you lot still to this day still bring him up like he's something. Like, oh yeah, well, like, oh yeah, you know, oh yeah, right. We got to talk about Yorking this way, that way, that way, that way, and keep a face on it. No, he did what he did. He did what he did. And now they're trying to revamp him because I'm watching Some Good, so I know exactly what's going on. I don't even catch Song Good. Maybe there's a reason why I don't catch him. I don't catch him. There's a reason why I don't catch him. I just see the aftermath or the stories what he put up. Cause I don't get it. What is going on? Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. What Grandma Akka said to me, what she was gonna strike me because I put up a whole series on cults. Dr. York was included in that. She was saying that how she was gonna strike me. I couldn't believe it. She was on Alma's panel telling me this. She was getting all upset about it. I had to tell her, look, right, it's about it's about it's about um it's about what he did. So you're separated from your child. You're in another part of the what you call it? I forgot what they call the place, Tamaray, and your child's in another place, and you're in another place, and and someone's taking advantage of your child. It's like I'm promising them everything, and that's okay. Is that our community is known for keeping predators and that, like, not saying nothing about predators at all. It's like, where does it end? Yeah. Oh, let me do this as I'm talking. If you can hear me, I don't even know. I don't want it to switch off. Yeah. It's like, what's that? Where does it end, man? Does it end? Just right, people hold predators and you're there picking them up. Anyway, before I start repeating myself, because I can repeat myself a lot, I might have to come back on whenever my daughter's sleeping, and then I'll talk a little more. Oh, you want some too, yeah? Okay. Yeah. So it's crazy. The two women scamming people, and now they're probably in Tanzania, living good with their expensive flat. So I'm trying to multitask. Oh, it's gone off. Can you hear me? I'm trying to multitask because I never can multitask when I'm sitting with the laptop. Oh, got that this. Oh, we got this as well. We got mac and cheese here. So I don't expect. I don't know. It's either some people just don't want to get to know who's out there scamming them, or they just want to go with it until whatever, or they're invested in it. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But man, I'm gonna have to go. But let me just read what you guys been saying. Yep, yep. There's loads of scammers there. Totally trivializing spirituality. Yeah, they're selling spirituality. They're terrible. They're selling it. Actually, Nicola called that a scammer. I don't know how it smalls it is, how small it looks. Black people's version of Jay-Z night. Who's that? Trips. She does say some names I don't even never heard of. She say some names I've never heard of. It's that razzle dazzle that they want. Yes, they want all that. All that and a bag of chips. They're all in competition with each other. Yes, the women, ridiculous. Being regular needs a costume. Yes. Hi Quinton again. What she said. Promiscuity and their fake spirituality. Yes. Exactly. Nasty and desperate. Yes, that as well too. Yes, I'm going in, Amma. Yes. There's so much ridiculousness going on. At one point, I think that how there's going to be a case where the women's going to have to go and just start cleaning shit up. Yeah, to start cleaning the shit out. The older ones or the young whoever, the next lot, the real ones is going to go and clean out, dust out the shit boy then, because there's too many. There's so many. It's like it's ongoing. It's like, where does it end? When will it end? Oh, my battery's dying. So now my battery's dying. So that's a sign telling me to come off. But just take heed, man. Don't fall for these communities. Anyway, you're not gonna come on and talk about my guy on Dark Side anyway, right? So I'm gonna try and do that one because I think I'm supposed to do it today. I can't even remember. When my baba's asleep, I'm gonna try and do it because that needs to be spoken about. There's another one I've seen as well that had just highlighted. I'm gonna take a picture and put it on the community tab because there's a lot going on. Wow, my phone. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Okay, so I'll probably have to go in again on this community scamming business. It needs to be said right now. It's the elephant in the room, as they say. So with that said, before this battery cuts out on me, and then like I'm gonna have to do all the things just to come back in again, I'm gonna take my leave and come off because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Wake up, people. Wake up. You can be aware. You don't have to call yourself conscious. Be aware. As long as you're aware, that's okay. And we're not all perfect out here. Okay, I got flaws too. I ain't even gonna cap. I got flaws as well. So I get catch out too a couple times. So, I'm just saying, like, come on. Yeah, I'm just saying. Just saying. Or does a woman have to be beautiful so that you can listen to her? Or some rass like that. That's been said over here too. God, I got a story about that one. I have to tell you on another live. On another live, I would have to tell you about that one. Okay? So, with that said, I'm going to come off. See you later. Bye.